And we are live. Good evening, everyone, here in ESENtaxa. Andrea Papito here. And today I'm going to talk about the update for the transition period or the time period that has been put in place, thanks God, for the Italian government to help people to still benefit from the old version of the Impatriate regime. So this is the hot topic of today. And also we're going to discuss a little bit about other small things that normally we receive from our clients, classical questions that we can reply right now. And after the live, at the end of this live, I'm going to reply you to some questions. So if you have some questions, you can start writing in the chat and I will reply you back, guys. Another thing that I want to mention is that now we are in the Black Friday period. So up to the 23rd of November, all the tax consultancy, 1 hour tax consultancy and 1 hour tax consultancies plus the tax simulation will be discounted by 20%. So take up this opportunity up to the 23rd of November. Okay. I want to remind you that the tax simulation is one of the most important point whenever you want to relocate in a specific country, which in this is case for Italy, or we do the same for Belgium, for Portugal, and for Albania, and also we cover the Republic of San Marino. Okay, so let's start with this important news. Finally, the Italian government find out that they made a big mistake. Basically, of course, all the people that moved to Italy hoping to apply the Impatriate regime with the old rules, which is the 70% deduction and 90% deduction if they were moving in the south of Italy, they were basically from one day to another, they were seeing this tax regime changed. And this was basically unfair. And also some accountants said that it's unconstitutional way behavior that the government brought up to this point. So it was very dangerous to keep this law in this way, and they basically make a step backward and they change from from the fiscal residence or for tax residence towards the anagraphical residence. What does it mean? It means that in 2023, if you register yourself in the commune in any Italian municipality and you ask for the residenza anagrafica, which is the anagraphical residence, so which means that your name will be written in the commune where you're going to live, in the registry of local population, it's enough. And it can be also considered as if you would have taken the tax residence in Italy only for 2023. So this has been put as an exception to allow people already moving to Italy, already plan to move to Italy, and apply for the Impatriate regime with the old rules. Okay. So if you have the time, the chance to register yourself in Italy in the commune, you will still be able to apply for the old tax regime, old rules of the Impatriate regime. Of course, always if you are eligible. Okay, you are giving for granted that you're eligible. And if you're not sure if you're eligible, we also have prepared a video test, which is the eligibility test for the Impatriate regime. In our link in the description below any video and also the description below this live, you will have the access to our eligibility test to check in advance if you're eligible or not for the Impatriate regime. Otherwise, all this discussion goes nowhere for you. So first of all, you have to make sure to be eligible for the Impatriate regime. Then you have to make sure to be registered in the commune if you want to move to Italy now. For the next year, in 2024, things are changed. It's not completely changed. There are more restricted rules, restricted criteria. Also, we have updated the eligibility test for 2024 new criteria. And of course, the deductibility, it's 50% and not anymore 70% or 90% if you move to the south of Italy. It's still a good tax regime, despite these restrictions, because in Europe right now, there is not so much to do. I mean, either you go to small islands such as Cyprus or Malta. Portugal has give up at the famous NHR program. So Italy, with this tax regime for the Impatriate regime, at 50% deduction, it's still nice. It's still okay. I mean, it's not tax heaven, but it could be a good opportunity for those who want to move to Italy for also other reasons, and they can also benefit from this tax regime. Okay, so as I said, 31st of December 2023 is the time limit, is the expiration date for the Impatriate regime with the old rules. Another point that I want to mention here, every person, almost every person that write us on the email on our info@esentaxa.com for asking about how can I open my VAT position in Italy, and if we provide also the subscription of the social contribution status of the subscription to the IMPS. Of course we do. This is something that belongs to the process. So if you go to our accounting page, if you want to look at our accounting plan, you will see all the details, what we do for you. And it's not just the opening of the VAT position, but also the registration of the IMPS Social Security Institution, defining the ATECO code and what kind of code you need behind your job description, because the job description needs to have a code in Italy, through which you will subscribe yourself to the IMPS. You see, everything is related and connected, and we can do everything for you. So this is not a big deal. And again, before moving to Italy, since we have now this switch to the new Impatriate regime, and if you don't have chance to move to Italy before December, what we can do for you, it's a tax simulation, 1 hour call plus tax simulation, and it will be discounted before the 23rd of November for the Black Friday. So take the opportunity to check in advance if the relocation to Italy makes sense for you with a big discount. It's a discount of 20%, okay? And I think I said everything for this live. So at least we have this correction from the government. Now the new draft law, it's still in the latest phase of the parliament approval, but it's done. Now it's basically, they have confirmed with all the political forces, and it's fine for this. Okay, let's start with questions. Many thanks for doing this live just on time. Thank you very much. You are watching us and you are following us on our lives. So thank you, guys. We are trying to do this every Wednesday at the same time, 5 p.m. or 5:15. 5 p.m. or 17 for the other type of time zone. So we are trying to get this live and try to give you all the updates every week, okay? Let's go for the second question. If I get the anagraphy registration by 31st December 2023, then I qualify for the 2023 regime, even if my work starts in 2024. Yes, it's true. But keep in mind that if too much time it passes from the moment you register yourself at the commune and the moment you start opening your activity or you open a VAT position, it's not a good link criteria. This is part of the eligibility tax clarification, okay? So if you check the eligibility test, everything is written. Not much time needs to be passed between the moment you move to Italy and you register yourself and the moment you open the VAT. Otherwise, the tax agency thinks that this is not a correct link criteria. Too much time should not be more than 1 month, actually. Yeah. So that's the issue. Another question is still George. Is a temporary rental agreement accepted by Anagrafe before the 31st December when I want to apply for the old Impatriate regime? What does it mean, temporal? If it's like a 30 days contract or a short-term contract, it won't be accepted because this is not enough to be considered resident in a specific municipality in Italy. So it has to be a long-term contract. Of course, long-term contract can be always closed with some penalties. But if you see that you're not anymore able to stay in Italy for any reasons, or if you're not able to apply for the Impatriate regime anymore, you can always terminate your contract with your landlord. Of course, there are some penalty to pay, but in order to be registered in the commune, you always have to prove to have a long-term contract. It would be more safe to do anagrafe with a long-term. Exactly. At least 2 years. Actually, the long-term contract are 3 plus 2, 3 years minimum plus an automatical extension of 2, or 4 plus 4. These are the two typical contract type that will be accepted by the commune. What documents are necessary to register with the commune? Well, the documents, this depends on the commune. It slightly depends on the commune, but in general cases, they want to make sure that you are in Italy for a specific reasons, for working reasons, for example. If you have a working contract, it's fine. If you have a rental contract, it's fine. It means that you have a mean to pay your rental contract and you stay in that commune. Or if you want to open a VAT position, you prove that you open activity and a VAT number, and that's it. It means that you're working in Italy. For the temporary contract, it's not possible to. I don't think they will accept it for sure. No. It's too short. Temporary contract, less than 6 months, 12 months, is not normally are not accepted. You might try, but I don't think it would work. Anton will ask us, how fast do I need to move to Italy? I have not started any process to register myself yet. Do I need to rent an apartment of 12 months to register and start the process, or just rent a room? As I said before, if you rent a room, you should find basically some owner that will allow you to register your resident in that room. I don't think this is easy or feasible. So you should basically commit yourself for a long-term contract, and then you terminate the contract in case you won't make it for the registration, which might leading to some penalty, like 6-month penalty or 3-month penalty based on the contract. Now, I'm not a lawyer, civil lawyer for contracts, of course, but this is the classical time that normally they ask you, the landlord asks you to pay in case you close the long-term contract before the normal date. For short contract, for short rental is not possible, and if you're going to stay in a room just for the anagraphical resident, it's almost impossible, unless the landlord allows you to give you a long-term contract for a room, but I don't think it's feasible. It doesn't make sense to me. Another question. I did a resident at Milano with an anagrafe with 3 months. Okay, so it means that, as I said, not all the communes behave in the same way. So that's the first rule that you have to keep in mind. What I'm telling you here are general rules, are logical rules. Some communes might have some exception. You might find some guys that are more flexible, and then you can go. Okay, thank you, Andrea. How does owner allows the residence documentary? And this is something that you have to talk with the owner, with the landlord. Here, it's basically, the problem is that if you have a landlord rejecting the fact that you wants to take the residence there, which might happen, of course, it means that this landlord had issue in the past. I know also a client that had basically he was putting under a short rent contract or under bed and breakfast style type of contract people, and those people were taking residents to the commune, and then the commune came up after him and asked him, why do you have so many residents in your apartment? This is illegal, and then he start having problems. So that's the reason why the landlord might not approve the fact that you want to put the residents there. This EU regulation of the minimums of 200,000 per year for 3 years, does that means that the most of you can save taxes in the Impatriate regime in 200K in 3 years? Okay, I understand your question. Maybe I didn't read it correctly, but I understood your question. So with the new Impatriate regime, there is no more this problem, because one of the new requirements of the new Impatriate regime is the upper limit. It's 600,000 euros. So they basically resolve the problem of the EU regulation for de minimis. For the previous regime, old rules, the tax agency didn't say anything about it. So still, there is no upper limit so far. Okay, still question about the rental contract. Guys, we really don't know, and we cannot tell you 100% how each commune works here. Here we mostly deal with taxes, actually. Once you have take up the residence, then we are dealing with the taxes and all these kind of things. So, yeah, I know there are specific situations, different scenarios, and each commune might behave differently. So let me read the last question. So I guess if you have a work contract before the 31st of December, but you get a rental agreement for long term after, guess you're not eligible for the old regime, right? Is not really the contract, is the fact that you have to have your name in the population registry before the 31st December 2023. Now, anyway, you have your rental contract, you have your work contract, rental contract, wherever means accepted by the commune is valid if they allow you to register your name in the registry. This is the rule now. If your name doesn't appear in that registry before the 31st of December, you're not able to apply for the Impatriate regime, all the rules. Last question, guys. I'll give you 1 minute still. Any financial tax reasons why landlord would oppose registering my residence? No, it's not a financial tax reasons. It's the problem that they will see too many residents registered in the same apartment. And this might be legal because, of course, in an apartment of a certain meter square, you cannot have 20 people living there, which actually are not living there. So basically, the landlord is also saying some lies to the commune, to the municipality. Yeah? So it's a legal problem. Yeah? So there's not really a financial reason. Okay, guys, I think today we had a lot of questions. But mostly focused on how to set up the residence in Italy. I understand why, guys. I understand perfectly. Unfortunately, the government did this crazy idea of changing the Impatriate regime without the possibility, at the beginning, without give the possibility to people to have a transitory period. Now they give the possibility, but we are already at the half of November, and I know there is only 1 month and a half before the deadline. If you are there, if you're watching this live in a second moment, I want to remind you that up to the 23rd of November, we have our Black Friday offer, 20% discount on our 1-hour call consultancy and 1-hour call consultancy plus tax simulation. Tax simulation will be extremely important to understand if the new tax regime makes sense for you. And we took into account also your worldwide income. If you have assets abroad, income from abroad, the simulation will take into account everything. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much. I see more and more people connected in our lives. We'll keep this live every Wednesday. It will be me, Fausto. Yesterday, Fausto exceptionally made another live just to give you this news. So in case of very important news, we are going to give an extra live during the week, and we will basically update you guys. Okay. Thank you very much, and see you to the next Wednesday. Bye-bye. Have a nice evening.